Hello, podcast fans. Adam Carolla here. I'm leading the fight against patent trolls who are threatening this medium. It's not about me. It's about the podcast you're listening to right now. If I go down, this show could be next. So visit fundanything.com/patent troll for more information on how you can keep podcasting alive. Thank you and mahalo.
You are now listening to the J Porks Experience. Listen free on iTunes or at theandydareshow.com. Now, here's Jay!
Yo, what is the word, people? Welcome to another edition of the J Porks Experience. I'm Jay Porks. With me, as always, on the other side of the glass, making sure this is a well-oiled podcast machine. Every week is nobody. Pardon my technical difficulties last week. I was on the hunt for a new microphone, and I will bore you with that story later. But first, I need to give you the list of websites you need to go to help keep me in business. First of all, we've got concertconfessions.com. That's for all your live music, news and reviews, for fans, by fans. We got some stuff going on over there. We've got Local H is touring. We've got some tour dates up. We've also, as the page loads, everyone send your hate mail to Verizon Fios because they made me switch to this internet connection and it sucks. We've got Linkin Park touring North America with 30 Seconds to Jared Leto and AFI. That's happening. We've got Summerland is returning in 2014 with Everclear, Soul Asylum, Eve 6, and Space Hog. So maybe in the meantime, you can go catch Summerland. It's more of a, to me anyway, Summerland seems like more of an outdoor kind of experience. But they're playing indoors here in New York City at Irving Plaza, which used to be called the Fillmore, but it wasn't the real Fillmore, so they changed it back to Irving Plaza. You could also check out Royal Teeth. They brought their glow to vintage vinyl. That happened. Also Hall & Oates. Hall & Oates were in, it was somewhere in Oklahoma because Stephen Anthony was on it. Anyway, they were in Oklahoma. There's some pretty good pictures. Words, Stephen Anthony. They play instruments, so I'm not gonna. They were live from somewhere other than Daryl's house. We got Tool kicking off their tour, kicking off their handful of shows tour at the Spokane Arena in Spokane, Washington, and our man, the Natural Stoner, was in the house. And folks, brace yourselves. He not only was texting me pictures, but he wrote himself a little review. And it's up here at concertconfessions.com. And actually, his video is being used by the likes of websites such as jambase.com. As Scotty B flips over a desk, there's that. And there's all that. There's more stuff. There's more reviews coming because I'm just getting in the mode of purchasing tickets. And when you're at concertconfessions.com, while you're signing up, while you're joining our family, what you can do is you can click these Amazon ads on the side and you can go buy stuff. Because you're going to buy stuff anyway. You might as well buy it here. Also, I need you to go to theandydeershow.com. That's for all your podcasting needs. All your Deer Network podcasting needs. The Andy Deer Show, which is the flagship show in this Chicago-based podcast network. We also got the Doppelganger King, Tyler Cale, on the best coast, the West Coast. We've got me on the least coast, the East Coast. And we've got Andy in between, and smooth operators from time to time. And when you're there, don't be selfish. Listen to all the podcasts. Listen, get all your music lingo from us. And also, click the ads. Help Andy make some dough. Get us into doing jobs like this for a living and not having to go work at restaurants. Well, I actually don't work anywhere anymore, but when I did, it sucked. Now I sit home and do this. Yeah, so click the Amazon ads on both those sites. Any website I work for, I need you to click the Amazon ads, make it seem like you're buying stuff there. Because it's 2014. Welcome to the future. ChristinaRocks.com, hosting the Time Warp, 89xradio.com. That's 8 to 12 on Sunday mornings. Throwback alternative. Stuff like the Meat Puppets. You know, when I turn it on and I hear the Meat Puppets, we're all good. And if you're listening to her next week, sometime between 8 and 12 in the morning, a guy by the name of Jay Porks may or may not be calling in. So if that happens, you'll hear it. If I sleep late, that's what happens when you don't work. Sorry. I also need you to go to AnnieQuiet.com. That's your source for quality. When I say quality, I mean everything. Because they have everything. I mean, when I first became employed by this website, I never knew I'd be so far behind these guys. These guys know how to rock it. Like, for instance, you could watch the drive-by truckers serve up shit shots count on Conan. You could watch Cage the Elephant's performance on Ellen DeGeneres. Tool has a new record. We mentioned that they're on tour. Tool has a new record. The record was reportedly done, according to Adam Jones, but someone in the Tool camp refuted that recently and said that it is not almost done. So, there's that. You can read the review. Robbie Grady wrote up the review of Beck's Sleepwalks Through Morning Phase. That's exactly how I felt when I heard it. Just saying. Julian Casablancas of the Strokes has a new is it a side project if it's his solo project? No, it's his front project, I guess. It's Julian Casablancas and the, I don't know why I want to say Voidoids. I'm opening it up right now. La la la. And the JC and the Voids. Yeah, real original. You are so original, bro. Wasn't there Richard Hell in the Voidoids? Or somebody had the Voidoids. And now he's JC in the Voids. Sure. What else we got going down here? Deftones beginning work on their 8th studio album. There's a Jimi Hendrix biography that has Outkast playing, Outkast. What's his name? Not Big Boy, the other guy. The guy with the beard. Andre 3000. He's going to play Jimi Hendrix. Even though he's probably never picked up a guitar in his life. Yeah, there's tons of stuff going on. But the big news of the week was, well, the two big things of the week. The first thing is 9 Inch Nails and Soundgarden are set to co-headline a summer tour. I'll read you the first paragraph here. 9 Inch Nails may be less than halfway through their Australian tour with Queens of the Stone Age, but that didn't stop the bands from teasing fans about something else they'll be doing later this year. All signs point to another co-headlining tour, but this time in the US, and with none other than Soundgarden. Now Soundgarden is performing Super Unknown at South by Southwest, and we will move right into South by Southwest after this. They're playing Super Unknown at the iTunes Fest at South by Southwest in its entirety, and they're celebrating its 20-year anniversary with a reissue and a release and a re-release and a super deluxe and blah blah blah. Again, bands that have been around a long time are allowed to do that. I am not. It's when Daft Punk starts reissuing albums when I got a problem with it. But anyway, so then I quipped that I bet Soundgarden is going to tour with this album. And they're going to play it all in its entirety. Well, they're doing it on one show, and now they're hinting at a co-headlining tour with Nine Inch Nails. And you know what's weird? I mean, I know nothing about booking. I don't know anything about booking talent or booking bands to venues. But I don't understand how you can have a list of maybe 20, 30 venues that you're going to play, or this might be closer to 20 than to 30, without dates. I could understand if you had like 5 venues that you were going to make dates for, but how do you have a whole slew of venues? This is going to Red Rocks Amphitheater in Colorado. This is going to the Verizon Wireless Amphitheater in Irvine, California. Nikon's Jones Beach. It's going to Kansas. It's going to Massachusetts, Florida, Michigan, Toronto, Austin, Texas, California, Illinois, Maryland, Virginia, Texas, New Mexico, Georgia, California, PNC Bank Arts Center in Homedale, New Jersey, Vegas, Philly, and Chula Vista, California. Now, all of those, that's the order in which they're listed. So, I mean, I don't think they're going to play the Hollywood Bowl in LA and then fly back across the country to make the New Jersey date next. So I can't begin to tell you when these dates are. I just know that you could find the article up at anniequiet.com, and I always say that I'll be leaving it to you in the notes. I'll give it to you in the notes, and I'll leave you a link. And then sometimes I don't do it because I've been failing at life. But I think I'm back, and I'm gonna have to make sure that the notes become a more prevalent feature of the podcast, because you can't click things you hear on the speaker. So there's that. Also, and this will bring us right into top story this week. South by Southwest is happening this week. Annie Quiet's got a party, and I'm gonna read it to you. But first, let me summarize South by Southwest for those who don't know, because I didn't know. Up to a couple of years ago, when that 1 week in March came, I just gave up on Twitter because I thought a bunch of pretentious music snobs invaded Austin, music capital of the world. But now I understand that it's much bigger than that. South by Southwest is a set of film, interactive, and music festivals and conferences that take place every spring, usually in March, in Austin, Texas. Began in 1987, it's continued to grow in size every year. In 2011, the conference lasted for 10 days, with interactive stuff for 5, music for 6, and films running for 9. So basically, you have Austin, you have a bunch of venues in a small area. You've got a bunch of bands there. You've got a bunch of websites throwing parties. You've got a lot of networking, and you've got a lot of, I'm gonna further my career. Last year at South by Southwest, the keynote speaker was, well, I'm not sure if the keynote speaker Dave Grohl? He might have been. Dave Grohl, ran the thing, because it was at the height of the Sound City documentary, and he was on tour with the Sound City Players. It was that band. It was Dave Grohl. It was John Fogerty. It was Stevie Nicks. It was the guy from Cheap Trick. A bunch of fucking guys. And it was sick. With Jesse's girl. What's his name? Rick Springfield. If you guys want to laugh, look up Rick Springfield. Go to YouTube and put Rick Springfield in Californication. And it is so funny how he plays this over the top version of himself, and it's just great. So check that out. But So South by Southwest last year, Dave Grohl's Sound City Players had the headlining slot at the biggest show. It wasn't the iTunes Festival, but I believe it was what Soundgarden is playing this year, like the big show, the 10 o'clock kickoff. But the opening band was the Meat Puppets. So I got to watch Twitter and watch all these trust fund babies who instead of having their parents send them to Cancun, they had their parents send them to Austin so they can look at their favorite bands and view Dave Grohl. Somebody's texting me. But the Meat Puppets got to open, and that was fun. I've got a really cool picture of Dave Grohl backstage watching the Meat Puppets. It's great. South by Southwest this year. Yay! I finally work for a website getting a part of this. So if you go to Rusty's on Wednesday, that's this Wednesday, because everyone's landing in Austin right now. South by Southwest, well, Annie Quiet has what they're calling the Outlaw Road Show, and it's at Rusty's, 405 East 7th Street. It's at the corner of 7th and Trinity, produced by Swing House and presented by Annie Quiet. Now, it's free. It's free if you RSVP at anniequiet.com. Another link that I will be sharing with you momentarily. Not momentarily, when I do the notes. That's way later in the day. Don't believe me when I say momentarily. And the bands playing are Ume, Greaves, The Coop, Battle Tapes, Nicole Atkins, 8mm, Jessica Hernandez and the Deltas, and John Flanagan. And this is all free with an RSVP at the website. You have to RSVP at anniequiet.com. I will forward you the link. You don't need a badge. Usually when you land in Austin this time of year, you gotta buy a badge, and whatever badge you get lets you into this amount of shows. You can get the cheap badge, and you might not be able to see all the good bands. You can get the premium badge, and you might be able to get into other shows. Maybe you get on a panel. Maybe you get into press conferences. There's press conferences and stuff. There's social media guys pretending to be press media guys for a little while. You get a lot of that at South by Southwest. Not that I've ever been there. Listen, maybe I'm jealous. Maybe I'm jelly. But Ume's at 2:30, and this show starts at 12:30. John Flanagan kicking it off. Jessica Hernandez and the Deltas are at 1. Nicole Atkins is at 1:30. 8mm is at 2. Ume at 2:30. The Coop at 3:30. Battle Tapes at 4:30. And Greaves at 5:30. This is all presented by Annie Quiet. It cannot be called an official South by Southwest event. Because if you're not, I don't know, I guess, I don't really know how it works because I'm not in charge. I just write stuff and hopefully get it published. But from what my understanding is, if you wanted to say it was a part of South by Southwest, like official showcase, you would have had to give them some money. And who wants to do that? F them. We'll just throw a party in your town while it's happening. Doesn't need to be official. Just needs to rock. And the band, 8mm has an Annie Quiet session. And I'll find it and link you up to it. And also, Ume, I will link you to my review of when I saw Ume, Helmet, and the Toadies a couple of years ago. I saw them, and it was awesome. At Webster Hall, I saw them with Pam. It was sick. Even though Helmet didn't play, what's that song? Unsung. They didn't play it. Christina played it the other day on Time Warp, ChristinaRocks.com, hang the DJ. She said something funny. I was listening on Sunday. I'll move off topic really quick. And she was talking about Record Store Day and how Soundgarden's going to be releasing a 7-inch. And then she said they were releasing 7 or 10 inches. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what size it is. I mean, hey, I didn't say it, she did. So I tweeted that at her, and she found it very funny. So, that's what I think. I think all girls should have that mind state. 7 to 10, who cares? You know? But hey. So make sure you check out the Anti-Quiet's never official South by Southwest showcase. Never official. And has anybody Neil Young finally released Pono. It's a thing that looks like a wide iPod. It looks like a triangular iPod. I'm really not smart enough to break down to you how it works. But I would love to try it. So if anyone in the New York area, in the New York City area, is getting that thing and wants to let me play with it, I'll be happy to do so. Now that the weather's a little nicer, and this unemployed mofo is gonna find himself walking around the city one day this week. Here's the part where I go to break and I pray to the Lord Jesus that this podcast sounded halfway decent. Because now I made the mistake of buying microphones that were hooked up to headphones. So right now, I'm holding a real microphone. I'm like a rapper. I feel like busting rhyme. Riggedy, riggedy, row. That's how I'm holding it exactly like if I was freestyling on stage. I was thinking about hanging it from the ceiling, but who can get up there to hang things? Then again, maybe I should have splurged the extra $4 and got the mic stand. Yeah. Anyway, when we come back, we're going to talk about a couple more Mount Rushmore ideas, a little over-under. I'll think of some stuff to do. And we'll do it in the bullshit portion of the podcast. Back after this. Hey, Jay Porks here, recording my own commercials. If you want to find your website in this little spot in between my podcasts, you just hit me up on Twitter at jporks, or you email me jporks@gmail.com, and you hit up the Andy Deer Show. Hit up Andy Deer. Hit up Tyler Kale. Hit up everybody. It's the Deer Network coming to you live in 2014. And we're back. Yay! The first half didn't sound so bad. So I'm back to doing this weekly. Again, last week I recorded. I had a podcast, and as I was sending it over to Andy, I said, "Listen, Andy, this sounds like garbage. If you want to dump this, feel free." And it was by the time I recorded, it was Fat Tuesday anyway, so then it was Wednesday, and then I was already getting ready for this week, so there's that. Good news to announce for me. I mentioned the Local H is touring, and I'm going to see them. Here's the thing. When I was talking about, all I've been talking about this year is how, no bands are coming around. What's going on? Where is everybody? Where are all the bands that I want to see play? Like, I don't have $100 to go see. Like, this Soundgarden 9 Inch Nails might be out of my price range. Who knows? I don't know. I know it's going to be a PNC. I know I'm going to hopefully get in there for $20 and sneak down to the $50 seats. But then again, I don't have a date yet. But April 21st, Local H will be coming to the Mercury Lounge in New York City. And I checked the Mercury Lounge website. That is an early show. Call me old all you want. If I can go see Local H, rock the fuck out of Mercury Lounge, and get home by midnight, I call that a win. I call that the best possible thing that could ever happen. It's on a Monday night. So even if I was to get a job, who works on Monday? Nobody. I haven't worked on Monday in fucking 5 years. Now I'm not working any day. Speaking of not working any day, and speaking of local, see, I could afford to buy the Local H ticket because it's $20. Bam, that's it. Spend the $20. I don't have to worry about it again. $5 on the Metro card in order to get into the city and back. Again, not getting home at 3 in the morning because it's an early show. Doors are at 6. Shows at like 7:30, 8 o'clock probably. Gonna end by 9:30. I know we gotta be out of there by 9:30 because the doors open for the next show at 9:30. So that's April 21st, Local H, with their new drummer Ryan Harding, and I'm going to check it out. Also, from the Concert Confessions family, Slugger A will probably be at the Metro in Baltimore or DC9 in Washington, D.C. Or maybe she'll hit the Canal Club in Richmond. In Richmond, Virginia. I know she's going to hit one of those. Because I may or may not have read a status update that said that she is excited to see the band. I've also been trying to work, as you know, as I've mentioned a few times, my goal in life is to go to California. Is to go to California and not come back. But the plan was, when I got my tax return this year, since I'm unemployed and I can't save money, was to take that money and use it to go out to California. To go out to California and meet up with my friend Linda Kite and go to Denver to see the Meat Puppets and the Moist Boys in Englewood and then in Boulder, I think it was. Anyway, it's 2 Colorado shows. That was the plan. Unfortunately, I got a letter the other day that said, due to you not paying your student loans, your tax return, your $1,054, has been intercepted by this bank, whatever bank was listed on the piece of paper. So I called them up and I said, yo, what is the fucking deal? Like, can I give you half? They said no. They said, you were sent things, you didn't pay back. Listen, I don't owe $40,000 in student loans. I owe them $4,000. And the only reason I owe them $4,000 is because I ran out of financial aid and I had to take out a loan in order to keep going to school. See, I know tons of people who take out student loans to buy cars, who take out student loans to go on vacation. Hell, I didn't even take out the student loan to buy drugs. I took out the student loan to take one class, Communications 480 or something, Communication Theory. It was Brian Cogan was the teacher. I paid for it, cash, with the loan that they gave me. I had to take out a $2,000 loan because that was the minimum. I actually had my old boss be one of the, when you put names of people who will vouch for you. I called up my old boss, my boss at the time, and I was like, Vin, I gotta put your name on this loan so I can get the loan. He's like, listen, the further in debt you are, the closer you are to success, whatever that means. So I took out the $2,000 loan. This is like 6 years ago. Honest to God, this is like 5-6 years ago. Nah, I was on the books working 5 years. You didn't take $1 out of my check, but you took my start my life over money. You took that from me. That is fucking foul. But thanks to the Priceline negotiator, don't tell anybody this, I'm still trying to get to Denver. I know it's crazy. I know that somebody without a job shouldn't be planning trips across the country. But I don't give a fudge. I need to get out of here. And those are free shows to Meat Puppets. And I get to see the Moist Boys. So if anyone wants I was thinking maybe I should do a Kickstarter for myself. But I'd rather just sit in the street pretending to play guitar with a can by me and have people drop change into it. There's another website, Please Fund Me or something like that. My friend Lisa told me I should check that out. Maybe I will, but the point is, as soon as I'm able to save up a couple of dollars, if I find it somewhere, I'm going to try to get out to Denver for the 2. Even if I could just get to Denver for the 2 nights and go back the next night. I could also go to Minnesota. The Meat Puppet, the show closer in Minneapolis I can go to. Anywhere, I can go to Denver, or I can go to California, get driven to Denver, driven back to California, fly back. I can go to Minneapolis and also stay somewhere for free. All I need is the plane fare. So if anyone's got like any frequent flyer miles or something, any coupons for airlines, hit me up on Twitter at jporks. Be my friend and help me out with this. Because right now I have one fucking show ticket purchased, and that is not a jporks lifestyle at all. At all. So there's that. What else is going on in the world of jporks bullshit? You know what's good? You know what's good in March? When you turn on the TV and you get spring training baseball. Pitchers, catchers, the smell of chalk being rolled onto the baselines, the outfield grass, the Kentucky blue. So great when I get to turn on the Yes Network and watch Yankee baseball. Especially since it's another year where the Yankees have a team that seems to be assembled in a video game. And, I like that. It's not my money. And if baseball proves one thing, it proves you can't buy championships, because the Yankees have been trying to buy championships for the past 14 years, and they won one. So don't say, oh, all that money diminishes your title. No, it doesn't. It's also Derek Jeter's last season. I'm going to cry when the season ends and my favorite player is no longer there. I saw Derek Jeter live when I saw him live, like he's a band. I saw him live. He played acoustic, and then he came out and did some covers. No, but in 1995, I was at the old Yankee Stadium for Andy Pettit's first win. Now this was 1995. It was so easy to get tickets because the Yankees were so bad in the 80s that in the early 90s you were able to get tickets. Buck Showalter was the manager. It was Andy Pettit's first major league win. They played the Oakland A's. Ricky Henderson was in right field, which is weird. I don't know why he was in right field. I remember him being a left fielder. And I was yelling at him that my hammy hurts, because that's what my dad told me to yell. And it was Andy Pettit's first win, and it was Derek Jeter was up because Tony Fernandez was hurt. And Jeter was up 15 games that year in 1995, and I was at one of them. I've only been to like 3 Yankee games in my life, none since 1996. Or 97, might have been. But yeah, so. And that's where I got the Mount Rushmore idea from. See, last week, or 2 weeks ago, I introduced you to, we're going to do Mount Rushmores. I don't like top 10 lists. I don't like top 5s. We do Mount Rushmores. If it's good enough for the presidents, it's good enough for us. Because LeBron James had named his Mount Rushmore of NBA players. And how you have a Mount Rushmore of NBA players that doesn't include Wilt Chamberlain is crazy when the guy got 55 rebounds one time on Bill Russell. Guy scored 100 points in a game. No one's even come close to that. Plus he banged like 20,000 broads, allegedly. But so we're doing Mount Rushmore. So I introduced a segment where I give you a topic and I give you my Mount Rushmore. And usually I got 3 and I need you to add 1. So 2 weeks ago, I introduced you to the Mount Rushmore of cartoons. And I'm putting South Park, I'm putting The Simpsons, and I'm putting Family Guy on there. And I needed a 4. Some of you hit me up. Some people said, why don't you put Archer? Some people said, why don't you... Christina Rocks told me Daria. Daria would definitely be up on hers. Now, my question was, is Daria... Do you put Beavis and Butthead in, or do you just include it as Daria? I don't know. And is it top 4 worthy? So, it's March. I'm going to let that Mount Rushmore go for the entirety of March. We're going to do 1 per month, because you know what the thing is? I ask you people things, and sometimes it takes you a while to get back to me. You know, maybe you're Maybe you're behind. Maybe your internet connection isn't working that week and you can't hear the cast. It's okay. It's all right. I'll give you time. So we've got a couple of weeks. Give me your favorite cartoons. What is going in that fourth place of Mount Rushmore? And yeah, so you had LeBron giving his Mount Rushmore of NBA players, and I introduced it because I heard after Derek Jeter announced his retirement, they were saying, "Does Derek Jeter belong on the Mount Rushmore of Yankee greats?" I think Derek Jeter is the greatest Yankee I've ever seen play. I've ever me, 27 years old, I've ever seen play. That being said, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle. Those are four guys that Derek Jeter doesn't come close to being. Not even close. This idea that Derek Jeter's better than Mickey Mantle. I mean, you could hear me laugh. I'm laughing right now. Mickey Mantle had 36 home runs. Mickey Mantle took over for Joe DiMaggio. Mickey Mantle was better than Willie Mays. And don't even, you can stop your eternal dialogue with that. Mickey Mantle tore up his knee rookie year. He was once quoted as saying, if I knew 40 steals and 40 home runs was a thing, I would have did it every year. Didn't know that was a stat. This guy went out drinking every night. Every night. And I'm talking drinking in the 50s and 60s, not drinking now. I mean, real drinking. Him and Whitey Ford and Billy Martin. Are you kidding me? Derek Jeter's better than Mickey Mantle? I fucking love Derek Jeter. Not a chance, bro. I'm not even sure he's better than Yogi Berra. Yogi Berra has 10 World Series rings. 10! That's 10. Yogi Berra has 3 MVPs. Now, on the same coin, I also get a good laugh out of the people who think that Cal Ripken Jr. is better than Derek Jeter. And yes, I'm talking to you, Reverend Justino. And I'm talking to every baseball fan who I'm friends with on Twitter who's anti-Yankee, who thinks for some reason Cal Ripken Jr. is better than Derek Jeter. I LOL at Cal Ripken's 276 lifetime average. Are you joking? Are you kidding? The guy showed up to work every day. Here's the thing about Cal Ripken Jr. Maybe the Baltimore Orioles would have had a shot to win a few more divisions and maybe win a World Series or two in the Cal Ripken Jr. era if he didn't force his manager to keep putting him in the game to keep some stupid streak alive. That's a fact. There's a groundskeeper in Baltimore who was showing up to work every day for 20 years longer than Cal Ripken had. They're not giving him a fucking prize. They're not even giving him a fucking pension. Cal Ripken Jr. Are you kidding? Is that supposed to be like funny? Cal Ripken Jr. Derek Jeter's got 5 World Series rings. 5. What's Cal Ripken got? Maybe he's got the 1? Does he got 1? Did they beat the Mets that year? I'm not even sure. I don't even remember. I just know that his lifetime batting average is in the 270s. And Jeter's is 314. 276. Guy's better than Derek Jeter. Guy's better than Mr. November. Guy's never even played in October. Stop it. Stop it with that nonsense. So, if you'd like to be smacked, just tweet at me that Cal Ripken is better than Derek Jeter. Please. I would love to have fun with you. What else we got? And while we're talking baseball, the Yankees will win 97 games. Count that. You can tape this, play it for me in October when you know it's true. 97 games. They're gonna win. They're gonna win. They're gonna win the AL East by 5 games. None of these teams are even gonna be close. The reinforcements are here. McCann, Beltran, Ellsbury, Tanaka. Try and do something. That's the thing about being a New Yorker. Like when baseball season comes around, you get so excited because the other times I'm a Knicks fan, I'm a Jets fan, and I'm a Ranger fan. Now I the Rangers are doing okay. The Rangers have a shot at the playoffs. The Rangers just traded their captain for Martin St. Louis. I like the move. Callahan's not really a scorer. As much as I love Ryan Callahan, he's gritty. He's not really he's not a scorer. Whereas Martin St. Louis led the league in points last year at 38 years old. I don't care how old he is. So you got Knicks, you got Rangers, you have Jets. So I'm sorry that if from March to November I'm gonna gloat like a typical New Yorker would. It's my only good team. I'm gonna like them. Can't wait to be. And when the Yankees do win the World Series, I'm going to that parade. In 2000, I didn't go to the parade. All my friends cut school to go to the parade, and I didn't go. I think I probably had I had a girlfriend at the time. Well, my high school girlfriend, and I don't know. I probably chose going to school and having sex with her in a hallway over going to the Yankee parade, which was smart. I mean, why turn down sex? If you know what, if the Yankees win the World Series and I have a chance to go to the Canyon of Heroes for a parade, and some girl wants to have sex with me in a hallway, I'm gonna choose sex again. Watch the parade highlights on ESPN. Alright. So, again, I'm just so glad that I was able to podcast today. And I'm going to give you the list of websites you need to go to continue keeping me in business, to continue keeping the J Forks experience experiencing, and to enjoy figuring out how I'm going to get across the country by the end of the month. So first of all, I need to go to concertconfessions.com. That's for all your live music, news and reviews, for fans, by fans. The more shows I get to, the more you'll be reading about me. But we got Royal Teeth at Vintage Vinyl is the latest review up at concertconfessions.com. And Local H added spring tour dates. You can check that out too. I'm going to share that on the Facebook page right now. Like, right now. Yeah, and you go there for all your live music, news and reviews, for fans, by fans. You join our family, and you click the Amazon ads. You also go to the AndyDeerShow.com for all your Deer Network podcasting needs. The Deer Network, it's a podcasting network, Chicago-based. But you got Tyler Cale in California, you got me on the East Coast, and you got Andy Deer rocking every week, every Saturday. You've got ChristinaRocks.com. Hang the DJ. She hosts the Time Warp 89xradio.com, a division of Bell Media, every Sunday morning, 8 to 12. Old school alternative. Tweet at her at ChristinaRocks, no H. She will shout you out on the air. I'm going to call in this week, so be on the listen for that. And AnnieQuiet.com. Your source for quality, your source for everything, and your source for the South by Southwest showcase at Rusty's. So check it out. Go RSVP, and then get a flight to Austin and get to South by Southwest. Deal? Deal. So, till next week, folks. whiskey, weed, Warren Zevon.
This has been the J Porks Experience. Thank you so much for listening.